High Scrollers is produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past and present.
Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land.
Hey team, producer Hannah here, aka Google Girl, and I just want to explain something. This episode was recorded last week. So Britt talks about some stuff that was going to be coming up on the weekend that you may have already seen happen on her socials. So I'm so sorry about that. We tried to get ahead, we tried to be tricky, and then we just confused things. So enjoy the episode, but that's why it might be a bit confusing.
Happy new financial year, everybody.
Yeah, happy EOFY. EOFY? How would you say that?
Well, it's now start of financial year. Actually, can I let all the scrollers in on a little secret?
What?
Oh, don't be so enthused, Matt.
Go on.
So you're hearing it here first. Actually, there might be a few Easter eggs across our Fate social media, but tomorrow, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, which I'm assuming every single one of you is, on Saturday and Sunday this week, the first weekend of the new financial year, Fate is doing our start of financial year sale.
Oh, how fun. Why have you decided to do that?
So we did it last year and we're doing it again this year, and I assume it's going to be a tradition from here on out because, as you know, how many emails have you gotten in your inbox, Matt, over the last month about end of financial year sale?
Yeah, quite a few actually.
We, just being Fate and me, we always just try to think outside the box and do something a little bit different. So I don't know if you remember, Matt, don't know how much of a Fate fan you are, but last year we did this skit and it was me and I realised, oh my God, we forgot the end of financial year. And then AJ in the video was like, well, let's just do a start of financial year sale and call it SOFY, like EOFY, but it's SOFY. So we're doing it again this year. So if you want to shop Fate this weekend, 30% off Saturday and Sunday online and in all stores. So if you're near a Fate store, pop on in and it's just a lot of fun.
Nice. Hit the ground running sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, I don't want Fate to make any more money in the last couple of weeks of the financial year because we've I don't want to bring in more. If anything, I'm trying to spend so that our tax bill will come down that tiny little bit.
Right. And so, not to turn this into a big business episode, but...
No, this is a finance episode today.
But, why do businesses do end of financial year sales then if they don't want to?
This is a good question. So... And I get why you say that because I feel the same. Why do businesses want to increase their revenue, meaning that they're going to have more tax to pay? So a lot of businesses do it because they maybe haven't hit their financial goals for the year. So they do one last effort to hit all those KPIs. But as everyone knows, Fate doesn't have any KPIs as a company. Mm-hmm. So we're not we need to make an extra $1 million in this financial year because that's just not how our business works. Another reason companies do it, and this is probably more of an AJ question because he's a numbers guy, but when businesses sell something less than the cost, they can then claim the difference. I don't know exactly how it works, but let's say a business purchases a piece of stock for $20 and let's say they sell it for $15. They can then claim that $5, I think, as a loss.
Okay.
It's some clever sort of tax thing. So that's why you'll see a lot of businesses doing up to 80% off and they'll heavily discount some of those items so they can claim the loss because they sold it for less than what they bought it for.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly how it works, but it's a bit of that as well. But as for us, I don't want to make as much money possible in the last couple of weeks of the financial year because that means our tax bill is just going to be bigger and we have to pay it sooner. So I'd rather kick off our financial year with high sales because then I don't have to pay the tax on that until a year later.
Nice.
Yeah. And
so no one buy anything from Fate in June next year.
Yeah,
next
no
year,
more sales.
June.
And that's right now in the end of June, we're not coming out with any new arrivals or anything because we kind of don't want to spike our sales in the last couple of weeks because then we have to pay tax on it ASAP, you know. So there's a little bit of big business for you all today.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what I also got to say, Why the fuck is the financial year from the middle of the year to the middle of the year? Can't we
I
just
thought
make
that as
it?
well.
Can't we just make it January to December like the rest of the year?
But I think everyone is on holidays and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
who
know.
wants
But
to
it
worry about
just-
end of financial year? And also, maybe it's consumerism sort of thing. We've got Black
Yeah.
Friday, we've got Boxing Day. We need a sale throughout. Like maybe it was. Who
Done
knows
on
how the
purpose.
financial year was created?
I
But do you know what I
know.
mean?
And also, like, I love Black Friday. Like, everyone loves Black Friday. But Black Friday has ruined Boxing Day. Like, Boxing Day isn't exciting like it used to be. Like, remember before online shopping, how exciting Boxing Day sales were? Like, you'd go to Charlestown Square and you'd shop up a storm. But now no one really gets excited about Boxing Day because they spend all their money in Black Friday.
Yeah, I think as well. I really like that Black Friday's a thing as opposed to Boxing Day because, like, Boxing Day, it's the day after Christmas. I want to relax. I don't want to have to go to the shops.
I know. And I do all my Christmas shopping, like, in the Black Friday sales.
Yeah, I know. That is the best part about it. I will say, though, Black Friday isn't even Black Friday. Black Friday starts October and runs through. Like, a lot of brands start their Black Friday sales now
This is
3
the
weeks
thing,
out.
because everyone's competing to get the sale in first. So Black Friday used to be like, what is it? The last something of
Yeah, last Friday of November or something?
November, but now brands go a month early. So that's why you have like a month-long sale period, because everyone's competing to get the customers to shop with them. And it's actually so tough, like, especially on small businesses, because, like, it's fine for the big dogs to go on sale for a month long and have all these promos, but the poor little small businesses, then they're not going to make sales during that time because everyone's shopping with the big brands, and the small brands can't afford to, discount themselves so heavily for so long. So it's a great topic. I'll have to get you on Big Business one time, Matt, so we can talk more about it.
I would love to. I like talking about all this stuff. This is like a regular dinner conversation for me, especially
See, now
around
you know
this.
why I love big business, because this is what the shit that I love talking about.
Yeah. And like, I'm always, telling my friends if they buy something and, the cashier, if I'm with them and the cashier goes, do you want a receipt? And they go, nah, don't worry about it. I go, keep the bloody receipt, love. You never know if you could use that at tax time, So I
think it's really
talking all about it.
interesting. Tax time for employees versus tax time for business owners. I did a episode recently where I spoke about like all of our expenses in a year at Fate, and I put up a couple of social clips, and then someone commented like something, and then I replied, and then I get taxed on all of this, like all of these expenses that I was going through, then I get taxed on that. And someone replied and said, do you get a tax bill on top of all this money that you spend? And I'm like, yes, like business tax is fucked. But I think when you're an employee, I think back to when I was working 9 to 5, you don't think about it from the business point. Like you get your tax taken out of your pay every week automatically, so you don't even think of it. And then when it comes to tax time, you get a little bit excited because you might get back, $1,200 or $2,000, but then for a business like tax time, like you don't get fucking
anything
shit back.
back.
You get slapped with the biggest bill you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. But do you pay quarterly?
Yeah, we pay as we go, but there's still like your yearly massive tax bill.
Yeah.
But you pay throughout the year so that massive one isn't as big, but it's still massive. So I fucking hate tax. I think it's the biggest scam in the history of the world. And sometimes AJ and I get our tax bills and we're just like, how fucked is this? Like, we work so hard. We have created so much employment. We give people so many jobs. We pay everyone well. And then you get stung with, we'll just take like basically half of it, half of all your hard work.
Yeah. And
fucking make it make sense.
I wish, this is why we vote, isn't it? But I was going to say, like, I wish we had more say of where our money went. Like,
yes.
to, what sort of things more, like, I would love to see more money get injected into the, nursing and things like that. Because when a couple of weeks ago at the Cats premiere, Sky wasn't feeling very well and we had to leave the premiere to go to the emergency room, and we're in there for hours and hours and hours. And obviously don't want to say too much because not my business to tell, but it was something to do with his heart. And I was like, why are we not a little more worried about this issue? I thought that, something wrong with your heart, like, would cause a little bit more haste, right? And I could tell that like they're underpaid and overworked and there's not enough staff on and blah, blah, blah. And it's not their fault at all. Like I was angry at the system as a whole. And obviously I wasn't angry at any of the nurses or the doctors in there. But I think because when I've gone, when I had my gallbladder and blah, blah, sorry to bring it up again, always going on about it. But, I was in there for like 9 hours. When I had kidney stones, I was in there for 13 hours before I actually saw a doctor. And when you're in pain and sitting there, like you don't want to cause a fuss. Like I was sitting there going, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like I'm happy to sit there because, there are other people who are experiencing whatever they're experiencing. Like, I don't want to cause a fuss. It's okay. But I remember back then, Sky was like, do you want me to get a nurse? Do you want me to get a... I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, love. It was the complete opposite this time around. Like, him being in pain made me be like, can we get our act together in here? And like, like, again, like not her fault. It's the system's fault. But the nurse was like, I'll do... a little test on you before I go home. Well, she up and left and we found out half an hour later that she'd gone home for the night and she hadn't done it. Now, again, like I'm not angry at her, but I'm just like, if she had more support, if they had more staff on, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was a Friday night as well. I felt like we could maybe have a few more staff on. So that for me is, I'm like, I want to see my hard-earned money go to things that I care about,
The thing that I don't understand, maybe we need to get a nurse on the pod at some point, but like they're always saying like how understaffed the nurses are, right? But I swear like half the people that you go to school with were going to uni to become a nurse. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it was a really like people were going to uni to become nurses and teachers. Like they were the two things that all your school friends were going to do.
Yeah.
And like so many people go to uni to become a nurse, but then like they say that they're understaffed, but I swear there's so many fucking nurses out there. Are they not giving them the shifts on purpose? Like,
No.
Are they understaffing on purpose?
Well, I obviously have not a clue and I'm only hypothesizing here, but I would think that, yes, I agree with you that when we were in school 10 plus years ago, that was the case. I cannot imagine that today people are leaving and are that as passionate about it. I think like maybe potentially, and again, I'm just making this up at the top of my head, but like maybe potentially people who weren't passionate about nursing would be a nurse because it's a good stable career and I think that's a good thing to do. Whereas like now I feel like unless you're really passionate about nursing, maybe you don't do it because think about how expensive it is to live. And if it's an underpaid job or a job where there's not really much further that you can go, which again, I don't know much about the industry, but this is just what I've heard and what I've consumed, is that there's not really you can't get many pay rises, blah, blah, blah. So like, what are you working towards? How much money are you going to make eventually? Like, I feel like maybe these people, if I was in that position, right now, if I was leaving school today, I would look at nursing and I would go, well, is that if I was passionate about it, I'd be like, this is what I want to do because I want to help people and I'm passionate about it. So I totally understand that. But if you're not that passionate about it, what's enticing about it? Because it can't be the money, surely. But that's just my opinion. Hope I don't upset anyone with that. But yeah, that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, so true. This is turning into a career advice episode today of Close Friends.
And how fucking stressful were those days at school? Career expos. You'd go into the hall or sometimes you'd even go to like a uni.
We would go to like the, is it YSPCA?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the career
Wait,
expo
YSPCA. No, YMCA.
Why?
Not the RSPCA, love. And what about me just going, yeah, like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. YSPCA. The YMCA.
YMCA. The YSPCA.
You'd go to the careers
Mix of
day.
Careers and pets.
And there'd just be like and you know what's hilarious is there'd be that one typical army one, like the army recruits.
We've spoke about this before. Remember when I was going to go get the career in the army?
That's right, you were too. I think that'd be so funny. It's like when I see the paintball guys in the shopping centre, like they take one look at me and they don't even bother asking. They're like, he's not going to want to join the army or play paintball, so we won't bother. But yeah, career expo days. And I remember my career advisor, Mrs. Giles was her name. Shout out to
Mine
Mrs.
was Mr.
Giles.
Stankiewicz.
What?
Yeah, something like that. Stankovic.
Mrs. Giles, she could see my potential, and she always wanted me to, she was always trying to find a career, because I was someone who in high school, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do, which meant that I didn't work very hard or care about good grades, because I was like, back in the day, it was like you need to know which score you want in high school so that can get you into uni. Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so why would I bother trying to get a good score? And also everything else going on at the time, etc., etc. So she was trying to find me a career, and then it wasn't her, it was me. Came up with being a speech pathologist for 2 seconds, and then I gave up that dream because I realised that no matter how hard I worked, I wouldn't get the score that I needed to get into. And thank God I didn't become a speech pathologist. How different my life would be.
Can you imagine if, like, I always think about that. I don't know what it's called, if it's some sort of effect.
Butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect, like just making one decision and your life going in a complete opposite direction. I remember when I was in year 10, I so desperately wanted to leave school. Like, I just didn't like being there. I wanted to go out and make money and be independent. And I went and did 2 hairdressing trials at 2 different hairdressers in Newcastle because I wanted to be an apprentice hairdresser. And I didn't get either of them. And I was really upset.
Don't you just have to, like, sweep the floor?
Yeah. And one of them...
Couldn't even get the job, love.
One of the trials that I did, I don't know if it was half a week or a full week, but I was there for like days and days and days doing this trial, and all I did was sweep the floor and make coffees. Like, I didn't even get to do one like hairdressing task, and I didn't get it at the end. They gave me a pack of shampoo and conditioner. And I think this was in year 10, so this is like so long ago. So maybe it's different now and they do an apprenticeship trial. But I worked for days and got a packet of shampoo and conditioner at the end. But I just always think, I was so devastated when I didn't get those 2 hairdressing apprenticeships. But maybe that was the universe saying, like, this isn't the path that you're meant to go on. Because imagine if I had gotten one of them, I probably would have been a famous hairdresser on TikTok now.
You've been charging $2,000 for a perm, love,
Yeah, exactly. I would have been, what's her name, that Circles lady? Charlene. Yeah,
Kathleen,
that would have been me.
Darlene, Nede, Craig, look at me, please.
Surely I would have still done the social media thing, but in the hairdressing world. But I always think about that.
I'm glad I didn't become a speech pathologist. Can you imagine my life if I was sitting being a speech pathologist? Wondering, what if? Anyway. Big love to all our nurses out there. Thank you for your service. And see you next Tuesday.